This should be 7. All right.
Oh, we are live.
We are live, I think. Did I put the wrong time, guys? I put 6:40 instead of 7 o'clock. Could have sworn I picked 7 o'clock when I scheduled this live. I'm the Brown, and AR-15 photos already fell asleep.
Oh, man. Don't tell me they've been waiting for so long.
Oh, man, they've been waiting for 10 minutes. My bad, guys. I don't know. Did I put 7 o'clock, right, guys? Or did I put 7:40?
7:40? Or was it 6:40?
Oh, not 7:40, 7 o'clock. Did I put 7 o'clock or 6:40?
Got it.
I don't know.
That's all good, man. I think I'll be fine. I'm in.
This is like me posting an Instagram photo earlier. I typed in all my description. I typed in all the tags. I tagged all the people who needs to be tagged. And then I post the photo, and none of that description or those hashtags showed up on my post. It was just literally blank.
I'm the Brown. Holy mac and cheese and meatballs. You see what I'm the Brown said? I'm the Brown 2 days after I checked out of the 32nd floor in Mandalay Bay. The shooter checked in.
I'm the Brown. This is like the second situation, second time in a life and death situation you've been in. One was like what, Florida, right?
Florida, and then holy smokes,
Mandalay Bay. Holy cow!
Where do they host the PPI? WPPI?
WPPI. They held it at the Las Vegas Convention Center.
Okay.
Let's see here. Patrick Chang's up. Charlie Wright. How's it going, man? You see my post on Jason Lanier's group? I did not.
I'm not in that. I don't even have time to check Facebook. That's just how terrible things are. And I'm not even in that group. Usually people message me when I'm being mentioned in that group. That's what usually happens.
Some things go down. No, I haven't gotten a chance to look at the group yet. I've been like busy editing. Not editing 4 weddings. I just have 4 weddings to edit. So each of them is just killing me right now, dude. I'm trying to stay positive and sane. I updated my Instagram for the first time today in like more than a week and a half. So
it's not too bad.
Dark Wanderer, have you been to Malaysia before? I've never been to Malaysia.
Wait, WPPI is at Mandalay Bay?
2018? Oh.
Let me look this up.
Really? He's not going to be at the convention anymore? Don't troll me, Roydell. Do not troll me.
It is Mandalay Bay. Yeah.
Apparently, I think a week after I left London, like there was a bombing in London, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, there was some stuff that went down over there, and I was like,
it's insane. Dude. I think a lot of my Vegas friends are safe from the attack.
I think there's a couple of people that got injured that's like connected with our school and everything that had gone there. I think some were saying that some did actually go to the actual concert or to that thing, but they got away, and I think a couple of people actually did get shot. I think I'm not 100% certain on that, but I don't know them personally, but they're connected with our school. So
it's just like students or faculties,
family, things like that. Yeah.
That's just horrible, man. Let's see here. Charlie Wright, a lot of good news coming from the Manfrotto. Sigma putting out native lenses for email soon. Yes, we'll talk a little bit about the Sigma releasing some stuff in just a bit today.
And 10 more, my boy 10 calling us out. Or I would say for me personally, is disappointed. There's been a long gap in videos from you both. I would say for me, not really Jason. I mean, I'm swamped. That's just the only problem. I really wish I just had more time. Things just keep piling on my end, unfortunately.
For me, it's just like I said, 4 weddings to try to get through before the end of October. So probably afterwards, gonna have like a lot of wedding tutorials out after that.
Is it Jelly Maniaggio? You're in Vegas right now and can't get out of your hotel room, or is it on lockdown or something? Or
they're still in lockdown right now?
What do you mean by that, Jelly?
Or
yeah, we're just FYI, we're still in that pre-show mode right now.
Pre-show.
A little bit. Yeah, we're still in pre-show mode, so we'll get started in a few minutes.
Yeah, Jim. We're gonna get started at like 7 p.m. So
yeah. Still waiting for the quality of the transmission.
Like us? We look like potatoes?
Is it potato quality? I mean,
you look good, Danny. I mean, like your quality looks fine today.
I don't know. I mean, I live in the boonies, so I have to use like Wi-Fi jetpack devices, and these things are unpredictable at times. So, yeah.
So my quality is bad because the Black Magic recorder has died. So I'm gonna have to email Black Magic. Be like, hey, me and that one camera guy, we host a show every week, and the mini recorder has died on us. So can you
hit him up on Twitter? Just reply him.
Hey, hi. Please fix this. Let's see here. Devin Ron, think there's a chance of a Sony successor of the X3000 soon to compete with the GoPro 6, or can they hold off since the RX0 was released? They probably are not going to overshadow the RX0 right now, but I actually don't know what is new with GoPro 6. 4K 60, right?
But did they have that before?
GoPro? No, GoPro only has 4K 30. So, yeah. So, Photo Miike says the only thing the Sony needs is 4K 60. The X3000 has everything else, in my opinion. That is true. You know, I looked through the footage of the X3000, and it's really good as a wide camera. It's insanely sharp, and it almost looks like if we were to shoot a wide with a 6500 with a 10 to 18 lens. It honestly looks that good. The only problem that I had with it was that I think it drifted out of focus halfway through like the ceremony. So I'm gonna find out why. But the file size on that is like mega huge.
They just need 4K 60p in their email cameras, man. They just, you know, when you were telling me that the other day, where you were shooting your weddings, and you're like, yeah, Sony just needs to get 4K 60p in there. I was like, right now, the Panasonic GH5 is going for about $1,560 right now, gray market on eBay. I have about $500 in eBay bucks. And I was like, because I sold my Canon gear, I got eBay bucks for selling my equipment. And I was like, I could get a GH5 for $1,000 after my eBay bucks for that 4K 60. And I said, but I had to buy a freaking adapter. So I said, never mind.
You don't even have any lenses left to use. Do you still have your 18 to 35 at least?
I still have my 18-35, which I'll hold on to. But to be honest, I might consider selling my Sigma 35. I think I would either that, or I'll wait till there's a G Master 35. I don't know if they'll ever be anytime soon, but
I think they will have it. Just a matter of when.
Yeah, it's just a matter of when. Because I really like the 35mm focal length. It's just, even with the MC11 adapter, it's not good in low light. I can't trust it. So.
Ten Marmite Boy says, I know that feeling. I'm a teacher myself. I can only imagine the time drain of doing both. If binge hard on your old bits to keep binge watching your old videos to keep me entertained. Nice. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for
that is
the new GoPro Fusion looking mighty fine. I need to look into the Fusion. Okay. All right. It's 7 o'clock. Danny, you ready?
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's do this. Let's get the energy pumped up. Let's get hyped.
Got my little bit of black coffee left, so let's do this. Guys, welcome back to another Monday Night Live with me and Danny, aka That One Camera Guy. So got a few topics today. Danny just shot his wedding, not his wedding, but a wedding over the weekend, doing both photos and videos, and I kind of want to interview him, his experience trying to do both photography and videography at the same time, because me, myself, I just can't fathom trying to do both at the same time. It's just, doing one is already stressful enough. Trying to do both must have been like, I don't know, it must be insane. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But first, we always like to talk about, or we always like to start the show with new gear. So hashtag new gear. Let us know what new piece of gear you got this week or last week. So Danny, what did you get, man?
All right, so like I said last week, everything had come in. I had contacted Pro Support to ask if I could loan out to request for an A9 and 2470 G Master. They sent those two out to me, and then on top of that, I paid for and rented from Lens Rental another 24-70 and a 16-35 G Master, thinking I was going to possibly use it at the wedding. And a second shooter of mine, she was going to use the A9 and the 24-70 that I requested or rented. So that's what I got. I'm going to tell you, I really need to get a 24-70 f2.8. I really do. I mean, I've had one for Canon. I still have I'll probably sell it soon, but I still have the first generation 24-70 f2.8 from Canon. Absolutely loved it. But just having that versatility with that wide range and that 70mm focal length with the 2.8, using it on the A9, it's just amazing. I was very happy with it. So 16-35 on the other hand, I haven't really used it much, but there's some events going on this week. So I definitely will try to go ahead and use that 16-35 a little bit more and just get a vibe for that. But yeah, mine's pretty simple. I think that was pretty much the main things.
Awesome. So I didn't physically, well, actually, yeah, I physically picked up something new. Where'd it go?
Is it still in the box?
It's still in the box. I haven't opened it yet. Yeah, it's so fresh. This is the Mavic Pro remote phone mount. So this just allows me to like mount the phone on top of the controller. So instead of looking down on the controller to look at the footage, I can actually just mount my phone up, and it'll be a lot easier. And I think my phone case is too big for the actual phone mount on the actual Mavic controller, so this one just kind of helps mitigate that. So this is Bipolar Pro. I picked this up at Best Buy. I think it's like retail for like about $29.99, but Best Buy was selling it for like $24.99. So
what phone do you have?
I have the iPhone 7.
Just the regular iPhone 7, not the Plus?
Right. Regular iPhone 7, yeah.
See, I have the Galaxy Note 8 Plus. It barely fits in the cage or where the handles go in on the Mavic Pro.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm definitely pushing that thing a little bit more than I need to, but it looks handy.
Yeah, it is super handy. I don't know if you can see it right there, but that's pretty much what it would look like if you have it mounted to the controller.
Is it compact, you think? Is it something that could easily fit and tuck it away somewhere?
Probably. It looks pretty slim, so okay. Probably. Oh, that's a reflection right there, but it doesn't look to be too big. It looks like one of those like GoPro car mounts. You know what I'm talking about? Just without the suction cup.
Mm-hmm.
So
got it.
That's pretty much the size of it. So I don't know. I picked it up just to make my life a lot easier with the controller, because the Moment case that I have on my phone is just so thick, so it would not fit where the handle grip is. But with this one, it should be able to mount just fine. So I'm gonna test it out and let you guys know more about that. And then also B&H is having a deal zone deal. The Sennheiser AVX wireless lav mic is like $300 off. I have a link in the description box below if you guys want to get it. But I also purchased it myself. The retail price was like $699, but it's $300 off, so it's $399 right now. So it's like the same price as the Rode wireless phone maker kit. So I'm looking to replace that one because the receiver and the transmitter from the Rode is really bulky, but the Sennheiser AVX one, it's just a lot slimmer, and I think transmission is a little bit better. Like, you won't run into too much interference as opposed to the Rode. So I'm interested in giving that a shot. I'm probably gonna take it with me to Photo Plus since I think a lot of people will have it there, and we'll see if it interferes with the other mics as well.
Are you just planning to use it as far as kind of like you talking toward the camera, or more so as far as a wedding, if you would incorporate that in your wedding jobs?
You know what? Even though we have wireless, my partner has the G3, the Sennheiser G3 wireless mics. We never used it for weddings. We just stuck with the law of mics, the Zoom H1 and everything. Nothing wireless. We don't know. We don't play back. We don't have any way to monitor the audio, but the audios always came out fine. So we just stuck with the Zoom. Okay. I think it's just easier and it's a lot cheaper too. I think the biggest worry that we have with the wireless is just things go wrong or there's interference.
Well, I think with the wireless, if something goes wrong, you can't stop the groom or the officiant during the wedding, right? If you're recording something.
No.
And so, I mean, either you're recording hard onto the device. I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't record audio into the actual device, right? It just transmits. It's a transceiver. It transmits to it.
Right. Because once you plug in the transmitter to the camera, it'll just record directly into your footage.
Have you thought about that Tascam DR device that's like a little, one has like an XLR, and it kind of would replace like a Zoom H1, but it's a lot smaller. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Like the Tascam DR.
The one with the auto level, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm curious about that one, but my Zooms still work fine right now. I'm not looking to replace them anytime soon, so I'm happy with the results with the Zooms.
Okay.
So not warrant. It does not warrant an upgrade, or in this case, an exchange. I don't know. But the reason why I want the Sennheiser AVX is because when I was shooting for Craig Adams' BTS, he was using it, and I really liked it a lot. It was just slimmer, and it charges via USB, so I don't have to put like a AA battery on it. It just works, and it charges up pretty quickly too. So that's the main reason I like it a lot. And then I also saw like some of like Gary Vee's daily vlogs, and I think D-Rock uses it as well. So the result seems pretty good. I mean, I don't hear any interference from their videos, so I'm pretty happy, or I'm pretty confident in the product.
Okay. All right. I mean, let me know. I'm very curious to see how. I've seen it before. It was just really pricey. I mean, compared to the
right. And I was going to get it before my Europe trip. I was like, man, it'd be so dope to have this slimmer wireless kit with me in Europe. And then when I vlog, it's just going to be a lot easier. I don't want to bring my Rode mic. But then I ultimately decided against it because it was like, what, $700? I was like, oh, I don't need it. So now that it's $100 off, I'm like,
We never need many of these things, Jason. We just it's just a hashtag new gear stuff. It's just that gear lust.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I need something for hashtag New Gear Monday, so better buy something today. That's my excuse.
Oh God, that's too much. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into the chat and see how everyone's doing here. Gear of the week says hashtag New Gear FS5 with the raw upgrade. How much did that cost? Was it like a few $100 for that one?
Damon Hart says 180105 New Gear. Very nice.
Caesar Sanchez says hashtag New Gear. Just got the Planner T 50mm f1.4 Sony Zeiss. Loves it. Don't know if I love it more than my 85 G Master. I wouldn't know because I don't own any of those yet, but very jealous of that. Nice.
Alex Sandoval says New Gear Aurora HDR 2018.
That's the software, right? The software.
That's the software. Someone was asking me about that, but I was like, I don't know. I've never used it before, so I can't really.
I feel like they've messaged me at some point. I don't know. Probably not. That was probably somebody else. Alteric Wilson says hashtag Sony 85 f1.8. Got it Saturday to shoot a senior's portrait Sunday, and it rained all day, so haven't got to shoot it yet.
Oh. So the senior shoot was postponed, right?
Yeah, hopefully that was the case.
Let's see here. Chris Barr says, I'm picking up my iPhone 8 Plus tomorrow, so next week's show I can brag a little bit.
Nice.
All right. I've seen we have some questions. We're gonna do some Q&A at the close to the end of the show, so in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Hang on to those questions.
Dave Sincere, hashtag new gear, Kupo 40-inch C stand, all metal, and the Sony 85mm f1.8.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nikolai Williams, new gear, small rig cage for the A6500 and a 7200 f4. Very nice.
Cool. And Peter V, hashtag new gear, Flashpoint 8200 with the Godox 32-inch softbox.
Very nice. Damon Hart says, by the way, I'm on the run while listening to this.
Nice. Very efficient. I appreciate you listening to us and keeping you entertained on your run.
Hopefully the stream quality stays consistent.
Hopefully we get you pumped up, get that cardio going, man, because if we slow down, they're just going to be like, I'm just going to fall asleep while I'm running or something, you know.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so that's hashtag new gear.
That is hashtag new gear. So let's jump on in. So Danny, let's talk a little bit about the wedding that you shot over the weekend. So
all right. Okay, so a little background here. This individual, she was a student of mine like 2 years ago, or almost 3 years ago now. She contacted me like before the end of last school year. I guess, yeah, not too long. Like now I remember, maybe like 6 months ago. She asked if I could go shoot her wedding, and she wanted me to do the photography for it. And I said, you know, I kind of prefer video. I was like saying, I kind of prefer video over the photos. But you know what? Somehow I ended up convincing myself that, hey, you know what? I'll do both the photo and the video somehow. And we agreed upon that. And I didn't think much of it until maybe a month going into the wedding. I was thinking, what did I get myself into? Trying to do both photo and video. I said, you know what? That'd be a great way to test out the Sony mirrorless equipment, because it is a hybrid camera for shooting photos and video. And I wanted to see how well it would do. And so the wedding happened this Saturday. I had 4 student assistants with me. They were my students. And I was pretty much the main person, but then I had, so I rented some additional equipment. But I'm not going to lie, there was a lot of equipment that day, man. I had 3 Alpha 6300s, an Alpha 6500, an A7R2, 2 A9s, a 7200 G Master, 7200 F4. I was 22470 f 2.8 G Master, 16 to 35. There was just more equipment than needed to be. But because I was doing both photo and video, right, it was kind of stressful. I had 2 Godox 600 flashes. I bought an additional one because I was planning to get rid of my Einsteins later on anyway. So that Godox 600. So there was just a lot of equipment and gear in my car the entire time. It was kind of a crazy time. But as far as preparation, I just made sure I had everything organized in my 2 Pelican cases, my bags. Everything was like really well organized, and I kind of coached with my students already ahead of time of what my expectations were. But yeah, that was kind of the go for it, Jason. I don't know if you want to ask anything at that point.
That's insane, man. That's like more gear than I brought. 3 and 4 weddings. You have 7 cameras, and like 2 7200s, 2 24-70s, and 1 16 to 35. That is insane.
Oh, and I brought a Sigma 50 to 100. That was what one was using, a Sigma 50 to 100. So, it was like the equipment was decked out. I mean, it was like full on decked out equipment. Like, this was like the best equipment out there for a really low budget wedding in terms of just what we were bringing. It was ridiculous. It was the most insane thing in the world. And like I wasn't doing this really for payment. It was more of a gift for her. And so, yeah, it really was like ridiculous. It was really
photo me. I was like, dang, Danny, were you shooting a Super Bowl or something?
No, it was just a small wedding, man. Wedding.
How did you carry all those gear? I mean, what, Pelican rollers? Or you?
I had a much bigger Pelican case, like a 15 to 60, I think, that I had for my hand equipment, really big one. And so I put my heavier 70 to 200 lenses in there, my 50 to 100, all my microphones. I had like 3 Rode VideoMic Pros, well, 4 technically, and my extra batteries, everything like that. They were in that big case. In my smaller SKG Pelican case, that's where I had my 4 A60. That's where I had my 3 A6300s, my 6500, my A7R2, and my A9. Those were all in there. And then this bag, this has an A9, a 24-70, and a 600 flash. I gave this to my student assistant. She was shooting photos, and she stayed with the bride for most of the day. So she took this kit in here, A9 2470 G Master and everything. So it was like like I can't even. I was just like, there's just so much equipment, man. I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this: how did you keep tab of like all your gears?
Okay, so what I did was I labeled every camera with a letter A, B, C, and then G. The G stood for the gimbal. So this camera, this 6500 was only for the gimbal, primarily for the gimbal. ABC was designated to each assistant. I said, this was the camera you were going to use, and that's the one you're going to stick with the entire time. And then that way it kept it kind of organized, and so I didn't lose anything. I might have lost the cap, but that was about it. But we made sure we had everything. But you tell me, man. I don't know how. I really thought at the end of the whole thing I was gonna lose stuff. Like I'm not even kidding you, because stuff was getting tossed around towards the end because it was like trying to get from one place to another. But hey, it worked out. It worked out at the end.
Too much gear, man. Hashtag too much gear.
That is hashtag too much gear, and so I don't think I'm ever gonna do necessarily that again. But
I honestly think you could have gone away with like 3 cameras, maybe 4. What am I talking about? We have 5 cameras, maybe just 5. It's 7 of them. Overkill.
The thing is, it's because I don't know if you, for those of you that are listening in, it's like I'm really the main person. Like the 4 assistants that I have, it's like, yeah, they're my students, but I would have to be assuming that they would work at the same parity of level that I would be working at, like at that level. And so at the end of the day, I was fully responsible for everything. If something didn't get caught, like I was responsible for that. I was on the hook for not getting that. But I did, train them enough so that we could make sure we got everything for the most part that we needed. But at the same time, I still go into the back of my mind, just like the situation Jason was dealing with last time. And so that really haunted me going into the shoot. Was like, I'm still responsible at the end of the day to make sure I get all the core things. And so everything they got was more secondary, just in case. Well, it was still important footage. It was just I just want to make sure that I still got something to make sure there was still something at the end. So, but it was stressful, man. Having taken care of photo and video, it was just.
And okay, so let's get into the meat of it. I mean, like,
okay,
both photos and videos. I mean, like, what did you prioritize more? Did you prioritize photo more, or you prioritize video more?
Okay, this is what I'm going to say right now. I couldn't. This is the problem. It's like because my mind was wrapped around both the photo and the video, I could only give like 60. I'm just throwing a number out there, but I couldn't give 100% in photo or 100% in video. It felt like I was just giving 60% in either direction, and I wasn't getting the absolute best I could do. And I knew this going in because I've tried to do this before with other things, that if I focus on 2 things at once, I can't do a good job. I think that's pretty obvious for everybody. And so my mindset was that when I was taking photos towards the end, for example, as an example, towards the reception, I was in a really good position to get photos of the bride and groom, or the bride as she's tossing the bouquet. I said, you know what? I'll just record video from this angle. I'll shoot in 4K. I'll shoot at a faster shutter speed, and I'll just pull still frames from this and possibly incorporate the video. I said, you know what? I'll just try it. I mean, like I said, this isn't like a huge budget wedding. It's a small budget wedding, and we're getting a great content already. I mean, I'm not super worried, but that was the mindset that was going in. But yeah, I really don't think the video stuff. I don't think I felt that I did enough that I could tell a really good story. You know how you put together your stories for your cinematic films and everything like that, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel I got enough to really put something really strong together, but enough content to cover all the things that I felt was necessary to record. So we'll just see as I try to put all the footage together. But photo-wise, I felt comfortable that we got pretty adequate coverage and everything there. So,
Jason's here. Danny, you are the one-man Steven Spielberg. Okay, so in terms of shooting both photos and videos, did you shoot it all in one camera, or did you have like 2 bodies on you, one specifically dedicated for photo and one specifically dedicated for video?
Okay, good question. Okay, so I had the A7R II, right? And then as my secondary camera, and then I had the A9. At first I thought I was going to use both. It just wasn't possible. My brain couldn't process both at the same time. And when I was shooting with the A7R II and the A9, I was getting confused because my hands were getting so comfortable using the A9 that when I switched back to the A7R II, I was missing that thumbstick, and it kind of confused me. It's like, I know my cameras pretty well, but jumping between those 2 cameras really, really confused me. And so slowly but surely, I just stopped using the A7R2. I just kind of put it aside as a backup in case something weird happened. And I just used the A9 through and through. I just adapted with it, shot with it, switched lenses if I needed. I just switched the darn lens if I needed to switch the lens out. So that's kind of what happened mentally. So I filmed both photo and video on the A9. I was just jumping back and forth with it.
Let me ask you this. So you know how, I don't know if you've ever experienced this before, but when I shoot like concerts, you know, and then I want to record a little bit of footage for the YouTube, and I usually generally try to do it on like one camera, A7R2. I'm not sure if this happens on the A9, but let's say I fill up my buffer for the A7R2. When I try to record a video, it will give me a black screen that says, hey, we're still writing to the card, so you can't, you know, this function is not available yet. You can't record a video. So did you run into that issue when you were shooting both photo and video on your A9?
Okay, so it didn't happen. It only happened once. And that was when the bride and groom were coming down from the aisle, and I was taking rapid succession of photos, and I wanted to quickly switch to video. I couldn't do it.
Because it was writing.
It was writing to the card. And I was writing to both cards. I was writing RAW and JPEG.
Oh my goodness. That was my next question too. Did you shoot both RAW and JPEG as well?
I knew I probably didn't need to, but I said I have the option to. I might as well shoot RAW and JPEG. Okay. And so it wasn't like like I said, it wasn't a dire need because I had another assistant recording video. It was like my angle would have just been extra. You know what I mean? It was like someone else was already covering that angle. I would just be covering extra. Like I said, remember, it was at the end of the day, it's like, what if something had happened with the other camera? I was still on the hook. Like, I just wanted something to record. So, but everything will be fine on that end. I do want to say the pastor was very helpful in this church situation. Like, I know in the past, sometimes you have trouble, but this pastor, he was like, oh, if you need more lights, we'll turn on more lights. If you need the audio, let me know. We can work with it. Whatever you need to do, I'll mic up, whatever. And they're very, very super, super helpful in making sure I had what I needed to do. So, but it was still tense. it was still tense.
So, okay. So let's start at the beginning of the day. Okay.
Yeah.
Like prep shots. I mean, like, and I know you told me like earlier before the show that the makeup was already done around 3 a.m.
Yeah. So for the bride, when I got there, we got there around 8 o'clock because that's when I was expected to get there at the bride's place. She already had her makeup and her hair done already. And she had said that her makeup artist and hairstylist had come in at 3 o'clock in the morning to get everything done. So I was like, okay, well, that's not going to happen. And so then I started working on some the photos for the dress, the shoes, and all the other additional items like the bouquet. And then I kind of let my other student assistant, I let her handle some other stuff because she has a different eye for something. So I let her handle it. And I saw some of the photos she had later, and it was actually pretty good. I was very impressed. She was able to pull off some really good shots. And so I just had to let her trust her on that. And I didn't stay at the bride's place for very long, maybe about 30, 40 minutes. And I didn't really record video there because it just didn't. I recorded a little bit, but it wasn't like I was trying to record something like a story. It was really hard to put something together.
So detail shots wise for the prep, you focus more on the photo aspect. Can you just detail shots, rings, dress,
that kind of stuff.
Whatever.
Yeah, okay. that was the focus. And then once I stayed there, then I left my student assistant. She stayed there, and I left. I left with the other guys. We went to the guy's place and to get some stuff taken care of. So it was very interesting in that regards. So
after prep, were you guys doing romantics, portraitures, or was that after ceremony?
After the ceremony. So after the ceremony, we took portraits inside the church.
Okay.
And then after that, I quickly got everything that we needed ready. And then we broke into two groups. One group of my assistants went to the reception already. Mm-hmm. And then another group of us went to the park to go take some photos. And that was another challenge. But
so let's talk about the ceremony setup. So how many cameras for video were you running for that one?
I had one to the left, to the right, in the very back, at the very front of, when they come in.
Yeah.
And then I had another camera upstairs that I don't think got everything, unfortunately. And then I was also recording video as I was moving around in the areas. I was recording little videos here and there and some photos. So in terms of coverage, man, we were like decked out. Like it wasn't. I had one assistant for every spot. So and then we also had the you know how I told you I picked up two that little screen, the small HD focus.
Yeah.
I picked those up because sometimes my students might not be able to judge exposure properly. And so I picked up the small HD just to make sure they got the exposure down, because sometimes I've seen them overexpose something, or something's been overexposed, and I can't fix that, you know, and be careful of the dress, for example. But they had that, and they were able to accurately see what they needed to set up for the exposure and everything. So I was very happy with that.
In terms of, yeah, and you're saying, you know, did you have any sort of training the day before, or like any prep with your students? Like, hey, so this is how you would mount the stuff, or this is how you would finish the exposure. This is turn on the zebras, making sure you're not exposing a dress. Like, did you have something like that? Some prep?
Yeah, we prepped a little bit, but it wasn't enough, because that week prior, I pretty much picked them out who I was going to ask to help me out the week leading up to the wedding, right? And so it was more like just training them how to set up the equipment properly and using it. We don't use Sony cameras in my classroom. They use Canon and Nikon. We don't use Sony cameras. And I started incorporating Sony cameras with my advanced video class, because I have the Sony cameras, you know, and I want them to take advantage, because my Canon DSLRs are old. My 60Ds are old. That's what I have. And I have Nikon D5200s. So I was like, let's just use some of my own equipment. I'm fine with it. It doesn't matter. So they get to use some really cool items and stuff to do their work. And I can train them with it. And if I ever have any gigs or anything like that, they can help me with that and be my assistants. So that's kind of how it was.
Are these current students or just students in the past?
Current students. And I typically go with current students.
They get some extra credits.
No, they get paid. They get paid.
Oh, they get paid better than extra credits.
Yeah, they get paid. Like I said, for this wedding, I really didn't get paid. I paid all the assistants. They split the money, not me. So it was more for them. It was a learning opportunity for them too. And that's why I found a lot of value out of it. So it wasn't, like I said, it was a lot of stress, for a little bit of stress on that end, but at the same time, there was enough of us so that I didn't feel like we would be like, oh, we'd have been in a lot of trouble. So
okay, very cool. So, and let's move on to portraitures. And so, seems like the ceremony, your concentration are more on the video, right?
I had to leave that to the assistants, right? Because there was already three of them on that, and then the other student, she was taking photos too. We were well decked out, you know. Yeah. She was using an A9. I told her, I said, you're using a very advanced camera that probably no other high school kid probably is using right now. And you should be able to get the good shots, okay? So
she's the first high school student to touch the Sony A9.
Can you imagine just being a high school kid using the A9 with a 2470 G master and everything? Oh, and so she was absolutely loving it. But so she did a good job.
And so in terms of portraitures, I'm guessing you focus more on photos instead of videos, correct?
Okay, so there was 3 of us that went to the park to go take pictures.
Right.
I had one assistant handle the Godox flash. Okay. Right. Absolutely love it. This is probably like the 3rd time I had used it. I had not used it as much. And so we were out there taking portraits. It's not my strong suit. Like I said, this is technically the first wedding I've actually shot photos for. I've done video, not the photos. And so I had some general ideas of what I wanted to do, but they were very fun to be with. You know how they start getting into it and they start doing their own thing. Say, hey, let's do that. Let's work on that. And even some of the family had recommended some certain shots. I said, hey, let's do it. And so I was happy with some of the shots, for the most part, with the shots that we got out of there. And the Godox 600, absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it.
So the Godox 600, what did you do? TTL or you did
high speed sync? I don't know if I had TTL on or not.
Okay.
I don't.
It was ridiculously easy to use, and
it was super easy to use. I just told my student, just make sure you're hitting them, pointing it directly at them, and it worked. And all I had to do was focus on getting the posing down. And so I didn't have to stress too much. See, like I said, as long as I worked the team, and I had the other student, the one that had the A9, I told her to record behind the scenes footage, like record some video clips of them, you know, posing and things like that. So that we had some video footage recorded. So it's kind of coordinating in that regards.
So would you say video now, would you say it's more behind the scenes of the photo shoot, or just more, or did you at least to try maybe use the Zoom crane or something as they, you know,
I did not really get to use it, and I didn't get to do the slow motion that I wanted to do.
Okay.
And that's the reason. And you know how sometimes you would pull them and kind of tell a story or do something fun in video with them in the park. We were strapped for time. There was no time. It was just, everything was purely dedicated to the photography. So there was absolutely no options to really pull it off. So, yeah.
So reception time, you're saying everything got pushed back. It's super late. I mean, you know, how did you deal with it? Did you prioritize videos first when you got to the reception just to make sure everything was recorded, or did you just jump into the photos? What did you do?
I I'm always doing both photo and video throughout the event. And then with regards to video, I made sure my two students that had gone there ahead of time, I told them to coordinate. One of you's going to do a wide shot and one of you's going to do a medium close-up shot. So that way we had two angles, basically two angles already ready for whatever we need to record. And then I asked the other student to get some B-roll footage of just the location, people talking, like little everything on the side. You know what I mean? When people are chattering and things like that. So hopefully that side was taken care of, and I could focus on photos and some video. And my other student, she could focus on photos during the event. So, and that was it. I mean, people just wanted to take group photos. We took group photos, and then, but yeah.
I mean, like, okay, let's talk a little bit more about photos, actually. So did you have any speed lights on you to shoot?
I used the 685. It's that Godox one. So I had that. Let's see.
Also, just manual settings or TTL?
It was TTL. It was TTL, and I was just modifying it as need be. But yeah, it worked just fine. I mean, like I said, the schedule was off, and that was fine. I knew things never go as planned, obviously, all the time. So I just told my students to be nimble. As soon as something happened, you be ready to react and start going. So I just had to trust them on that, and I just did what I could do. So
that's cool. And in terms of like audio, you know, for the video, I mean, what did you use? And
audio wise, we use the Zoom. Well? We use the Zoom H4n to tap into the audio. The problem is the band had their own mixer and the DJ had their own mixer. But the thing was the DJ did not have something to output out the audio. And so it was kind of tricky in that regards. But most of them used the microphones from the band to talk. So I think I was okay with a lot of the audio from the parent, the father, the mom, the family members talking and giving their toast. So a lot of it was fine. It should have worked out fine.
So for the cameras, did you also have a shotgun mic just to grab just some backup audio as well?
Yeah, they all had Rode Video Mic Pros.
Nice. How did you get both the Mic Pros to fit with the Small HD? Oh wait, no, they have a
yeah, they have a little shoe on the side. We only use the Small HD for this reception, and we did mount it to the side.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, man, cool. I'm telling you, okay. I don't know if I could do that again. It was
okay. Would you do it again? Would you do both photo and video again? Let's say you have a team that's a little bit more advanced.
Yeah.
Would you try to do both again, or would you recommend just sticking to one thing?
It would have to be this similar group that already did it, and we'd have to coordinate. We'd have to rehearse a little bit more, but I'd probably go over some more examples of what I'm looking for. But the thing is, and I think you know this, you can't teach experience.
No,
you can't teach experience. Like I know, as one of my students, who's saying like, "What should I do right now? What should I do right now?" It's like, because I'm under a lot of stress in terms of like I need to focus on what I'm doing, and I can only give them a little bit of feedback. I said, try to get medium close-up shots or close-ups of people interacting, little things like that. But I can't show it to them at the same moment. I can't show examples at the very moment. I'm like, just do what you can at this point and just try to learn from it. And so, but in my mind, I know what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for those detail shots, those little interactions, and but I can't show that. That's all experience. And also changing your settings on the fly. Like you don't know what's going to happen, right? And those things you just get from experience.
I agree. So just I mean, like overall, I mean, photo and video, what do you think gave you the most trouble?
I would say that I think it was pretty equal in terms of everything. I think in terms of coverage, we did a good job. Everything was, I think photo wise, I was very, very happy with. Video wise, I think we could have done a little bit better. But photo wise, I'm pretty happy with it. So
photo wise, they're good. I mean, video wise, maybe a little bit better, but you have enough coverage. You covered everything.
Yeah, I mean, we're good. We recorded all the main things that were really important. I mean, to them as far as memories go, and I think we have it. So it's all good.
Awesome.
It's just maybe not putting together that trailer of sorts that you get, but we have the stuff recorded, and I think that's really good. So
cool. Oh, and then I saw someone asking, did you use silent shooting? I mean, you have to with the A9.
Oh, okay. All right. The reception, silent shooting. It was insane. The last wedding I was shooting with, the photographer, the camera would go off and off and off. we had the two A9s. We were shooting. It was completely silent. I think at times they're probably like, what are they doing? Like they're not even taking pictures. But I wasn't shooting up to my eye. I was shooting out in front of me because it was low key. People can't really tell. And so, I mean, they could tell I'm pointing the camera at them, but it takes them a lot longer to notice. But yeah, I was pretty much, for some of it, I wasn't shooting up to my eye. And it was completely silent except for that one person who had a DSLR and they were taking photos in the church. But other than that, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Get out of here, Uncle Bob. It's not your job. Actually, you should have been like, hey, just take some few more photos for me. Just come over here and help me out. And give me the photos afterwards. I think if I was in your position, I would be like, hey, yo, Uncle Bob, come over here. I need you to stand right here. Can you make sure you get this coverage right here? Thanks, bye. And then walk off and cover my another angle.
So, Jason, would you ever try this?
You know what? I would love to try it just to be like just to experience it. But if it would have to be a low budget wedding, a wedding that, you know, the couple knowingly knows that I'm doing both, but the results are not guaranteed.
Yeah. And maybe some assistants, right?
Assistant, yeah, preferably a second, like two shooters that know what they're doing. They don't necessarily have to have like a lot of first shooting experience, but maybe like enough experience to be like, hey, operate on your own as I try to do both at the same time. Yeah. But man, I can't imagine just trying to do like for everything else. I feel like it's okay, but for like portraitures, doing portraitures for both photo and video might be a struggle for me because I'm trying I would try to like light things and then like, okay, so we'll swap over to like, you know, doing some videos. Yeah. But I think in my case, I would probably try to do two cameras, you know, have one dedicated for photos and one dedicated for video.
It's fun though. Yeah, I see why. It's very fun.
Hearing about it just sounds like it's a lot of fun.
It's fun. The challenge was there. I really enjoyed it in that regards. Yeah, it was stressful here and there, but it was actually kind of fun because it was kind of like I'm testing out the equipment and seeing, is this it? This is the gear that I said I was getting rid of my Canon stuff. This is the Sony stuff. Is this going to do it for me? It was pushing the crap out of that stuff. I was like, it better work. And
anything overheated? I mean, battery wise, like how many batteries?
Oh, thank you for asking that. The Alpha 6300s, they were chewing through the batteries at the reception. My students were running back and forth to get batteries. I had a little station set up in my case where I had 4 batteries charging at once with this brick, so I would swap it out. But I didn't show them to set up you know how you have a USB power bank, you can attach it straight into the camera. Yeah. I didn't have them do that, which I should have. So there was a couple of times when the batteries went out, but they were able to switch it out. There's a little bit of a panic mode, but we got it all situated.
How many batteries did you bring?
I probably had like at least like 12 to 15.
Actually, that's not as bad as I thought.
I mean,
12 to 15 for 7 cameras. Well,
the A9s for the A9s, right? I had 2 for my A9 and 2 for the other A9. So okay. There's more. There's like probably like close to 18 batteries then, maybe plus.
Oh yeah. Did you feel like you were like, or like you or your students, like you're not charging the batteries fast enough towards the end, or was everything okay?
The funny thing is that the reception was short. I mean, the wedding ceremony was about 30 minutes. That didn't take up a lot of battery. I mean, you could have got through 1 battery.
Yeah, okay.
But the reception, but that's where you were talking about how you want to stick with the name brand batteries. So I don't know if those were dying off faster, like the third-party ones. So I don't know. But that's an argument, or I would personally like Sony to maybe in the future make sure those 6000 series gets that upgraded battery. But yeah.
All right, guys.
Gotta probably bore everyone to death. I'm so sorry.
I was just about to say, I was like, hey, if you whatever Danny said was helpful, to give this video a like.
Oh man.
Let's see what people are saying. Let's look at the comments really quick. All right, so David Oster just joined in, and he's the master at doing both photos and videos for weddings. So you got to chime in, David. I mean, like, what did Danny do wrong? Where can Danny improve? Let us know. Let's see here. And we got some questions, so we're going to tackle the questions in just a bit.
I see Amder Brown says, that one camera guy, how can you be that young and not be able to multitask? especially when old man David Ulster's making it look easy.
Oh.
I was up at 1 a.m. that day, the day of, and it was a long day for me. I don't know. I just wanted to make sure everything was ready. Like I was so stressed that I wanted to make sure everything was all ready to go the day of, and I don't know, man.
Understandable. I mean, like you don't shoot weddings too often, and you're doing both at the same time. I think you put it off. I honestly think you put it off for the amount of experience and the amount of frequency that you ever had to do these sort of things. I mean, you did the best to your ability.
Photo me, I'm Danny gonna be working on this wedding for the next 30 days, y'all.
Pretty much.
Nah, I mean, I've already kind of narrowed all the photos already, so that's kind of done. I'm not gonna do
it easy, huh? Making me look bad.
The editing on the video, I'm just going to piece it together as far as events are concerned, and then if I have enough footage to put together a little story, then I'll put a story together.
So Devin Ron was asking, I mean, what are you promising for this wedding? 10-minute highlight, 3-hour documentary? Like what's being promised for the video?
As far as the video is concerned, I told her I was going to put together like a short trailer. As far as length, I mean like 3 minutes, 3 to 5, something like that.
All right.
But yeah.
Are they getting any raw footage? Any sort of
unless she asked.
I mean,
she was a student of mine, so if she asked me to, it doesn't bother me.
Oh, did you happen to look at the gigabytes? How much did you shoot?
Oh God, let me check right now. Holy smokes. Okay.
I want to know numbers. Because usually at the end of every wedding, we would personally get like 400 gigabytes, 400 to 500 gigabytes worth of footage. And then when we run the proxies, it just goes up to like 700 gigabytes to like a terabyte.
Oh God.
It's insane.
Dude, I got 384. That's not bad.
That's it? Wait, did you shoot 4K? Like for the whole thing or just reception?
Don't scare me, man. What if my students had turned it to 1080p?
That seems surprisingly pretty low.
It's 384. It's 384 gigabytes. I mean, I hope that's everything.
All 4K, right?
Yeah, all 4K. And the photos too. And the photos, the raw. 24
megapixels, JPEG. Yeah. Are you gonna do any sort of major editing for the photos?
Not really. So I'll do a little bit just to kind of fine tune it. I'll do what it needs to be done, but I'm not gonna do anything like major. It just is not enough time for whatever was budgeted. But I'll just do what I can. Yeah.
Let's see here. Photo Me access couple. We just want a basic wedding video, nothing major. Danny shows up with enough gear to film a motion picture.
Pretty much. I am not lying. I mean,
that's the thing. I just feel like when I was first starting out, or like when I first tried to book gigs on my own, that I'm like okay with like a lower budget, and I would book lower budget weddings, and then personally, I would feel like I'm giving them way too much, and I'm like. Part of me is just like, oh man, I wish these guys would understand like the amount of effort that is actually going into all of this, and they're getting an amazing deal out of it. But I just at the same time, I just know, or I have to come to reality that they probably won't know that the effort that I'm putting in is actually worth a lot more than what they're paying me.
Yeah. So there was actually the last wedding I had done. Then I did the video. The bride and groom paid me an extra $1,000.
Whoa!
After the fact. Although I didn't charge them much in the beginning, but they paid me an additional $1,000 because they were very happy with the results. But I think it was $1,000. Might have been $5. Like like $1,000.
Nice. So they actually saw that the amount of work you put in was justified for that extra $1,000.
I don't think they had expected what they got. That's why.
That's good.
That's
always good. That's always a good thing. Yeah. I'm waiting for that day to happen, but I don't know. Oh, great job on the video. Oh, tip, nothing. Oh my God. Did you know I shot this with everything I had?
Dude, because that wedding I had shot, I was doing the video, right? So the bride was in one place and the groom was obviously at this hotel. I couldn't find the groom. I couldn't find it. I spent 30 minutes looking for him at the hotel. I went back up and down the stairs. Oh. I was trying to call the phone, but the phone was inside of the hotel room. So I couldn't find him. He left his phone inside the room, and I was like, "Where's this guy at?" And apparently, the photographer had taken them out somewhere, and I didn't know. I saw them in the beginning, but I wasn't sure I kind of saw somebody, and then later on I realized it was them, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I quickly got them and filmed some like stage shots of them getting ready and all that stuff. It worked out. The story all worked out. But yeah, that was no pressure. It's good, man. I did enjoy it. Like I said, I enjoyed the whole process. And it does make me, like I said, I wouldn't mind just doing one thing, like focusing on one thing, but not trying to do both. Like I feel like I could do a much better job with just one.
So David Olster says, video and stills at the same time is the future, Danny. It makes a massive difference for me booking weddings. I understand for both, just like having a couple to book a team that can do both photo and video is definitely beneficial, but I just can't fathom being the only person to do both tasks.
See, you just have to, I feel like the person you're working with, the bride and groom, they have to be willing to accept the results of what you're going to get. Like they know this is the quality that's going to come out of it. Because you obviously can't do like, I mean, you could do video lighting to get good lighting in your still frame grabs and stuff. But I don't know. It's insane.
Wow. So we actually have a list of items that we were supposed to go through, but I don't think we're going to get through to them. So Danny, let's just tackle the actual main topic we're supposed to go into today. The Sony and Manfrotto collaboration, which we haven't done. It's 45 minutes into the show, and we haven't even talked.
All right. It's not going to be that long anyway. Let's go.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the Sony and Manfrotto thing, but after that, we're going to do Q&A. You know, we're just going to skip through some of the other stuff or maybe we'll just talk about it really briefly after the Q&A. But start queuing up the Q&A. If you have any questions, let us know. Use the hashtag QA, and me and Danny will get through it after this topic. So Sony and Manfrotto collaboration, if you guys didn't know, they're going to be collaborating on products together for the alpha cameras. I think specifically for alpha cameras, right? So no idea exactly what it is, aside from the one tripod that they're going to do like a release, a special version of the B3 tripod for the Sony Alpha's camera. So they're going to debut that at the Photo Plus. So we'll see it pretty darn soon, maybe in about 3 weeks, not maybe 3 weeks, in about 3 weeks. So we'll see what that tripod is. And they're saying that this collaboration is going to focus a lot towards travel photographers. So, I mean, Danny, what do you think?
I thought it was, is it Alpha? I mean, I would imagine it would be the E-mount series, because in my mind, I was thinking, okay, they're going to work with Manfrotto to make some products that are specific to the E-mount system because of the smaller form factor. You know what I mean? Like the mirrorless form factor. But if it's saying it's for the alpha cameras, I'm like, what are you going to design that specifically targets that particular demographic that's not already being offered? You know, I don't know.
I honestly don't know. I mean, like the B3 tripod honestly makes sense to me because I actually have one, and I'm like, this is perfect for, you know, the mirrorless cameras, being that they're so tiny and compact and light. The only issue that I have with the B3 is that the panning and the tilting is not as smooth. It's not as, I mean, it's smooth, but there's no friction to it, you know? So when you pan and when you tilt, you know, it's a little bit harder to control. If you were to use an actual fluid head tripod. So that would be my only gripe for it. If they can make the fluid head to be a bit more friction, able to control more of the smoothness of the pan and the tilt for the B3 tripod, I would honestly get it. But I would always favor my bigger Manfrotto tripod just because it gives me the much more smoother shots.
Got it.
But
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think it's great. Like I said, I thought it was going to be with E-mount possibly. But hey, I know what you're talking about with that B3 tripod. When we were trying it out at that, I forgot that convention. I have no idea. The one where I met the Sony reps, Cinegear, right? Yeah. I wasn't too. I was like, it's good that it's light, but I wasn't like super impressed with the ball head or like the head of the with the B3. I mean, it's just good. It's just like enough to get you by. So,
well, I don't know. It may be. I mean, like alpha camera, E-mount cameras. I mean, they're pretty much within that same category. So,
okay.
In terms of what kind of products, I'm not entirely sure yet. But we'll see that special version of the B3 tripod at Photo Plus. So,
all right. Well, if it's for the A6000, those types of cameras, E-mount cameras, that'll be great. It'll be great to see. All right, next on our list is something we're going to cover really quick, is that Samyang, rumored to have it's been kind of revealed their photos. that they're going to be producing a lens dock station for their lenses. I think they've got what 2 or 3 autofocusing lenses at this time, Jason.
Yeah, it's the 14 and the 50, and they're coming out with a 35.
Yeah, that's out already. 35 f 2.8.
Oh, snaps. Okay, yeah. That's right.
See, what's weird though is that if it's a Samyang lens dock, does Rokinon's is it going to work on that? Like it's getting confusing a little bit here. So hopefully they all have cross compatibility.
I think for sure it will. It's just a matter of, it will. It probably will, because if anything, they'll just Rokinon would just rebrand that same adapter just to sell it, just so there won't be any confusion. But I think for the most part, I think everything's just the same.
Yeah. So we won't know much about this. Hopefully soon it'll be released. But hey, it's just good stuff, good info, good product for those of you who are investing in the Samyang lenses in case in the future you need a firmware update for it. It's a smart. I just think it's a smart move. I mean, just having that option there.
So next thing on our list is the Pixel King. They have a battery grip. They just released a battery grip for the Sony A7. But I think Danny told me that Mikey already has a grip for the A7R and A7S too, right?
I feel like there's probably 3 brands already at this point. So I think Pixel being the 3rd. I could be wrong, but there's Pixel and Vertex are the same company, right? Pixel, Vertex.
No clue. I've
never. No clue, right?
I have no experience with any of these like third-party brands. But hey, for $88, I mean, is it what's the price comparable to the Mikey, to the other brand?
I think it's similar probably. And I mean the official brand's like about $200, I think. Maybe almost
it's ridiculous. It's expensive.
Right. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna pick one up. I'm just waiting for the A7 III. I'm not gonna get another battery grip. I already have an official one, so I'm not gonna get one of those.
Yeah, someone asked if it's worth it. I mean, we don't know, but do you have a grip for the A7?
I have a grip for the A7. I love it. I use it all the time, even with my A9.
What brand is it again?
Oh, okay. They're the official brands. The Sony
brand. Okay.
The Sony, and if you have the larger hands or if you just want the portrait mode, I use it. I have it attached like 90% of the time. So that's just me though. I mean, I like it that way.
So battery grip wise, I mean, like if you guys think you guys need that extra grip, get the battery grip. A lot of people say, I think one of the brands wasn't too bad. So they're very comparable to the actual Sony OEM battery grip. So,
and you get a remote. I think if you get the Makey one, you had the remote, so you get remote shutter release.
Does the Makey one have you connect a wire to the full frame one, just like it has you connecting to the A6500, or there's no wire at all?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure on that one.
Because that's the only thing I didn't like about the Mikey grip for the A6500 is that you have to use that cable in order to use the shutter release, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know. If it doesn't, that's great. I mean, I think that's what kind of appealed to me with the Makey, the third-party grips, was the fact that there was a remote option available for it. But yeah, I don't know for sure.
All right, and then the last topic, really quickly, is that Sigma, or like Sony Alpha rumors have said that Sigma will be announcing some FE lenses for the Sony Alpha camera possibly this year. But they just got a new source, or like new information from a very reliable source, saying that the announcement or the release was now being pushed to February 2018 instead. So that's a bit of a bummer, but that pushback, they're saying that when it's February 2018, there's actually going to be a lineup of Sigma lenses for the E-mount cameras, the full frame E-mount cameras. So instead of just seeing 35mm 1.4 from Sigma for the Sony cameras, there's actually going to be a variety of lenses that are coming out at the same time. So that's pretty good news.
I can't wait. I mean, while I was at the wedding, I was using my Sigma 35 f1.4 with the MC11 adapter on the A9. I was like, I thought it was going to work well. When it got really low light and I was doing like group pictures, it wasn't focusing very well. So like I said, I'm probably waiting for a 35G master, or if Sigma's compatibility is good with this FE model, then I'm all for it. I mean, I really like the Sigma stuff. It's really good. So
cool. I regret selling my Zeiss 3514, so I was gonna pick it up again, but I'm gonna wait until Sigma and see what they got. I've been shooting with the Sigma 30mm 1.4, the APS-C, and I looked over some of the photos again without flash, without anything. Freaking sharp. It's amazing, tiny little lens. So I have high hopes for Sigma.
Oh man.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the questions really quick.
If there's any.
5 minutes. There were some earlier. So Danny just caught a question. Did you see any? Okay, so one question from Alan Ip. How bad is it using a prime lens without IBIS, like 24 1.8 for video, or should I stick with OSS lens? So Alan, honestly, I am not a fan of unstabilized footage. I don't think anyone is. It's pretty bad. I don't like the results without IBIS. I much prefer having IBIS in body image stabilization on the cameras for these prime lenses. So if you don't want to upgrade to an A6500, I would suggest sticking with the OSS lenses. But Danny, what do you have to say
about using a 24mm without optical stabilization for video?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need stabilization or some sort of way to balance that, because I don't know. I mean, I think you are you going to move with it, or is it going to stay steady? But if you're going to start moving around with it, I don't know if it's going to be steady enough.
I mean, I tested it out. Like I did a comparison with the A6500 with and without IBIS on. I didn't like any of the results I was getting with no IBIS. I was just like, this is ridiculous. This looks like a war movie. It's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
So none of that.
I know Photomiac saying when Sigma starts releasing lenses for the FE mount, rest in peace, G Master. I mean, hey, honestly, if Sigma releases some really good lenses that are very good and compatible with the system and they perform well, I don't see any reason why people will jump directly to the G Master necessarily, but they'll definitely consider the Sigma. I mean, the Sigma stuff's really darn good. So.
I'm just praying the Sigma lenses that are coming out are one, silent focusing, and two, focuses like accurately, fast and accurate, as fast and as accurate as the G Master.
I'm going to make a bet here, or like a prediction. I don't think it's going to be noisy. It's going to be similar to what it is right now. I think they're going to fix some of the potential compatibility issues, but I don't think you're going to get completely one-to-one. That's just my gut feeling. So
then that would be the reason to jump to the G Master.
But see, there's got to be a way, yeah. But then again, you know that Sigma 31.4, that little one?
Yep.
I mean, it works well. It works all right.
The noise, yeah, I mean, like, the noise is killing me, but it's great. I love it. It's really sharp, and it's actually pretty fast and accurate, the autofocusing. So that's
what I'm thinking. I think that might just be it. It might just be noise. It might not be able to get it down 100%, but we'll see.
We'll see, hopefully. Andrew December Q&A. Have you guys seen Manny's latest video comparing the full frame versus crop? What are your thoughts, and how much of a difference is there, if any, in your opinion? I think I saw a preview of that video. Danny, did you manage to see it?
I haven't seen it, but with regards to the question in terms of the difference, I don't really think it's an issue of like what. I just like, for me personally, I like the full frame because if I'm shooting at 24mm, I'm getting 24mm. It's that kind of thinking on my end. But is there really a difference? I don't think most people can tell. I can tell though, but for my own stuff.
As a photographer and you as a videographer, I mean, like, is it gonna bother you that shooting with an A6500, you're not getting as much bokeh as you would have liked?
It depends on what it is. For the most part, for video, probably not. Nah, it wouldn't bother me. How about you? If it was your choice.
Probably bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I like shooting photos with my A7R2 and shooting videos with the A6500. I think that's how I have it down as. The 6500 video is just much more amazing. The autofocus is much more reliable. but the A7R2, the photo qualities are just top notch.
Or you can just get the A9, call it a day.
Shut
you
up.
get really good files, 24 megapixels,
Oh,
and really good video. You don't need them 42 megapixels for the most part.
I don't need 42 megapixels.
Yep.
Oh well, I mean the trade-in deal is over now. I'm not gonna be.
Just come on over, man. Just come on. You're going to that upcoming thing. You know you can probably ask.
Cesar Sanchez Q&A. Do you guys recommend using in-camera lens compensation, chromatic aberration, distortion, color, or should I be using Lightroom only for this? I have this set to auto my 6500. I'm shooting raw.
Shoot, I don't even know if I have mine on. I don't remember.
I honestly don't know either. But in terms of chromatic aberration and distortion, I just fix it all in Lightroom.
For photos, I guess you can, but for video, you want to turn those on, right? I would imagine. It only applies to the JPEG.
Oh, really?
Doesn't it? I think it's just the JPEG, but I mean, you'd want it to correct it. I don't know if it corrects it for video, but if it could correct chromatic aberration, I mean, I would turn it on for video.
I'll have to look into that after the show.
That's a good question.
Armendra Gamaj asks, how to wedding shoot best Sony video camera? I'm assuming the best Sony camera best Sony camera to shoot wedding videos. A6500 or A9.
Right now, yeah, I would say if you just wanted to go all in, A9, I guess.
A6500 is probably the most affordable 4K camera in terms of in the Sony world. Not really most affordable, the A6300, but in terms of like the best video packaged camera, my personal opinion is the A6500. So that's probably the best one you can pick up. I would recommend picking up 2.
Yeah, very versatile, I would say. Van Lian, what's your recommended budget full frame lens? 35mm f1.4 or the 35mm f1.8? There's a 35mm f1.8. Sony Zeiss 35 1.4 is crazy expensive.
There is no 1.8 35. There's only 2.8 for the full frame.
Yeah.
1.4 is crazy expensive, but I regret selling mine. That lens is freaking amazing. In terms of a budget version of it, you're gonna have to wait till the Sigma comes out.
Sigma 35 f1.4 with the MC11 adapter. There you go. That's honestly the only option right now. I mean,
that's the only option, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I mean, you could get the lens for about $600, the MC11 adapter for $200. So for $800, you could have that kit. But again, like Jason's saying, and from my personal experience, in lower light scenarios, I just don't trust it. For brighter areas, it's fine, but I don't know. Just depends what you do.
Yeah, for lower light, probably not. I mean, Danny just commented it already, like 35-1.4 with the MC11 at the low light. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's okay, but it's okay.
Cool. So time to wrap up the show. It's 8:03. Danny, do you have anything upcoming that you want to share with the viewers?
No. I keep saying I'm gonna make videos, but I don't. I'm a terrible person, like I said last week. So
let's hope.
If I'm not overly tired, the thing is, like, I've been filming tutorial videos for my classrooms. So what I do is, like, I actually, for those of you that have seen my A6000 video where I did my tutorial guides, like, I'll record what's on the A6000, what I'm shooting, and what my settings are. I'm doing that with the Nikon D5200. So I'm actually trying to create these like video tutorials at school. And I'm also filming myself taking photos and stuff. So it's like I'm making videos, but I'm not making it for the general audience. So I'm actually creating lesson content for my students so that they can learn better. But see, that takes time away from me doing my YouTube stuff. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird how to explain it. So
I think you should just publish those videos too. If you can just find a way to, like, I don't know, like word in the video that, it seems general enough for you to even publish a course on it. I mean, like, you can package it and sell it for like newbie photographers.
But that's the thing, though. That's the reason why I've been doing it, because I'm actually learning from myself too. And what's cool is that I learn from the students as well. It's like, okay, that didn't work well with the students, so I didn't explain it too well. So I always take that feedback right away, and so I always try to implement that in future things.
All right, Danny's online course coming soon. $9.99 per month. Subscribe now.
Oh boy.
50% sign up bonus deal. Just use the code Jason Bong. It's never wrong.
Jason Bong is never wrong.
I get 50% of the sale. Thanks, Danny. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Jason, what are you up to?
All right, so this coming Wednesday, I've been invited to a Sony RX0 event down in Culver City. So the Sony Pictures lot. So pretty excited for that. So I like how Jason was invited. I did not get this invite. Well, Danny, I registered for 2 people, so you're more than welcome to join me.
Ah, damn it.
So it's gonna be Wednesday night. I think they're inviting like a few creators out in LA just to test out the RX0 camera. So I'll be there.
I want the RX10 Mark IV, like, or the Mark V, right? It's the Mark V? No, Mark IV.
Four. Well, we'll get a chance to play with it at Photo Plus, so that'll be the thing that we can do.
Can I get it at Pro Support? Let me see.
Hey man, if you get it, let me know. I want to get it too.
October
I want to be able to borrow the RX10 Mark IV for New York. I would literally shoot everything I would shoot with the RX10. I'll bring my gimbal, I'll bring everything, but just solely focus on shooting with the RX10 Mark IV.
I know. I think it's a good way to go. So.
If Johnny or Trung, if you're watching, guys, right now, just we're coming for the RX10 Mark IV.
Or the A7 III that you guys will announce at Photo Plus. I mean, it's all good.
We'll prepare for that too. We'll shoot anything you want, please. Give us the inside scoop. But yeah, speaking of Photo Plus, Danny and I, just another friendly weekly reminder that Danny and I will be at Photo Plus in New York. That's happening at the Javits Center, or however you pronounce it. But we'll be there. I'll be there October 25th to the 29th, and then I think Danny will be there from the 27th to the 29th.
Yeah, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's kind of when I'm really there, like Thursday night, Friday, Saturday.
So weekend-wise, if you guys are going to be in New York, or if you're flying into Photo Plus,
Yeah, let's hang out.
Let's hang out. We'll be there. And we're still searching for that pizza guy that promises free pizza in New York. So if you are that pizza guy, please tweet us, Instagram us, hashtag pizza guy.
That one.
We really want that free New York pizza. All right, guys. I think that does it. Next week's live is going to be on Danny's channel, so join us then. If you need the link to it, it's in the description box below. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that'll do it. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate you guys joining us today.
Have a good night. Peace.